Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
Flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is another wonderful Tuesday, and you are getting a strain review.
Yeah, we are. And the thing I'm excited is Jesse actually hasn't been too big of a fan of this strain, supposedly.
Not really. Yeah, we'll go more into that. But
been puffing on it for like a week, maybe 2 weeks.
About a week. I mean, I've still got a good amount of my eighth. I feel kind of bad because I skip it because it's just, it doesn't do it for me. Now, what's the strain? This is Glazed Apricot Gelato.
Now,
it smells amazing.
Yeah, the smell smells like apricot.
And the taste is slightly sweet. Do you see that?
I haven't started yet.
Oh, man. So these sweet tones go all over your mouth.
Oh, my goodness. That's insane.
Yeah, that all sounded horrible right there.
So
Even the, oh, my goodness.
He was ready for it. He was ready. It was okay.
It's okay. Yeah, but it's got great aroma. It doesn't have a whole lot of trichomes on it, and that was kind of my first indication that this is going to be more of a really weak strain. It may be high in CBG, but even if that is the case, it still doesn't hit.
Oh, dude, that first hit, the flavor is wild. It is super good.
And it's
I will give it that. It tastes like apricot.
Now, here's the thing. You may like it. It's just not one of my favorites. I've used this to stack on other strains. Like my favorite right now, Gelato Face Off, is by far my favorite strain right now. Although after we just had that the chills.
Yeah, sour chills.
Dude, that was awesome. But I got to say that this one, I don't know why I'm not a big fan of this. The onset is kind of, it's pretty quick onset. It always gives me a headache, and it just
always gives you a headache.
Always.
I was like, I feel it straight in my face right now.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan. It gives me a little tightness in my jaw, and I don't understand why. And I've given it time. I've had it through a vaporizer. I have smoked it through my bong. I've had it through my pipe.
It's beta-carotene, terpinolene, beta-myrcene, humulene, and limonene.
See, terpinolene, maybe that's the reason why I'm not liking it. So I don't like terpinolene very much. My body makes me feel like meh. And it's not like a good feeling. It's an uneasy feeling I have. That's why.
Yeah.
So I feel it right here in my forearms. And the only thing that I can relate this to is the onset of a panic attack. But I know that's not real.
Yeah, that's not what you're experiencing right now.
It's I feel it right now. Yeah, I feel it here, but it's just where it's responding to my CB2 receptors. And the CB2 receptors are all over your body. It's mostly in the body, not the head, which is your CB1. There are CB2
your organs, and
and your muscles and everything that go along with it, and I feel it there.
This one has a high percentage of CBG. It's almost a 1% CBG.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 0.8, but then it's also got like 0.08% of CBGA or whatever. So it's basically almost 1 full percent.
So here's the reason why I'm not a great fan of it. It's already leaving and it's almost gone.
Wow, so crazy short-lived.
Fucking short. And it's not because of its THC level. Has nothing to do with that. I think
it's 19.29% THC.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, it should be just fine.
The THC has nothing to do with it. I think, and this is a good case of you're a dipshit and you spilled water on the floor. That's what the case is. But at least we have a mat down there, so.
Honestly, I would have expected there to be way higher dosing of like CBD in this because it just, while I feel a slight tingling or like, I don't feel much else.
Nope. You get what I'm saying then. It's short-lived, dude. My eyes, and maybe it is because of that. I get it. I really get it. And I said, but the thing that I like about cannabis for me is that cannabis gives me a euphoric feel. I need that a little bit to tell me it's blast off time. And whatever I'm using my medicine for, I'm now going within that intent. My mind is so focused on what I want and what I need. And so when I align it with the right strain because of the terpene profiles and the cannabinoids, whenever there's a lot of CBG, it kind of takes it away. Now, the only one that's not like that is Magic. I love Magic. Magic's a
really
good
nice.
stacker,
Yeah.
especially if you're having a lot of like anxiety that day. But that's the weird part, dude. Why am I feeling anxiety feels, the tightness in my muscles, like all over? Like, dude, I worked out
It's
last
interesting
night.
you say that because I do feel it in my
It's
arms,
tightness.
but it's not the same
It's not bad.
relaxing that
Yeah.
I feel with like some of the
With
other
Magic.
strain or most other strains.
Yeah. It's a very weird feeling.
It is. It's almost like a tightness through my arms.
And here's the shitty part. My high from the last strain that we smoked
is gone.
Totally gone.
Oh yeah, because this and I mean the lemon juice, but then
This is like stronger than CBD flower.
Yeah.
So the reason why I don't like it as that type of strain, it should be something that's used for very low tolerance, and that's the way it should be sold. And then on top of it as a diffuser, because if you're too
or is
high,
the medicine of CBG of like, hey, you're using this for the values and benefits of CBG.
Yeah,
not
anti-inflammatory properties.
Because it's like there is a lot of value in CBG, but it's just
totally get it. But that's the
not
problem.
Always the best benefit or what you're looking for in that one.
If I'm looking for anti-anxiety,
mm-hmm.
CBG is top of my list.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Like that.
Well,
remember when I was going through that?
Right now, where I feel tightness in my jaw.
Yep.
But the thing is,
it's not
like you said,
it's just annoying, and it's slightly
I feel like
uncomfortable.
nothing else. I don't feel like at this point I don't feel any more in my body except for tightness in my arms and tightness in my jaw.
Yep.
And weird. It's really weird.
That's really weird. So what I would recommend
the
this for?
Delicious.
It's
even through the vaporizer. Like,
dude, I still taste the sweetness in my mouth.
Huh?
I didn't eat anything.
No, it was just really good.
Oh my gosh, the genetics in this strain are beautiful. The way that the flower looks, it's gorgeous. It is a very good looking, smelling strain. It's good for a second. And I would recommend this to somebody who's like, you know what? I've got a lot of anxiety. Maybe this would work for me. But why is it not working for Jesse? Why is it not working? It would have
to be such a low dose then.
It would be
I would
tiny.
Worry that if they're prone to anxiety,
see, that's what I'm saying.
The tightness in the jaw or the tightness in the forearms,
that's going to make it worse.
Experience any of that, it could put them in a panicky or anxious state of like, oh, what's going on?
Weird, huh? It's just very strange because, okay, what is the purpose of this strain?
All right, I got to try bowl 2 and see how it progresses, what it feels like through this. Because, like, this is just a
see, I slightly feel it. I feel it in my eyes just a little bit.
Experience,
but the rest of my body doesn't feel it. I don't feel relaxed. I don't feel relaxed at all.
I feel it like behind my eyes.
Yes, like kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like squeezing it.
But like from the inside.
Yes. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
Huh. Yeah, this is wild. I don't have a headache, thankfully.
And this is a pretty well-known strain too, isn't it?
I think so.
I looked it up earlier on there. I mean, I thought it was right. Magic is something local here. There are other strains called Magic, but it's not that high in CBG.
Okay, so this one comes from a breed of Gelato and Legend Orange Apricot F2. So F2 is just one of their variations that they have within it. But I've never had orange apricot, like Legend Orange Apricot. But there's been some really tasty orange strains. We need to find another orange strain to review because, yes, every time those are like so tasty.
Dude,
so
key lime.
orangey.
We need to do it. I miss key lime. Like, that was years ago. It was years ago, and I still remember it.
It was when I was heading to California on the road trip with the kids.
Oh, man.
That was when I remember having it because I had it in a pod, and I took it with me.
So good. That was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is not bad now. Here's what's going on now with me. It's starting to leave my arms and my forearms. It's relaxing, but it's still, I'm developing a headache. Now it just went right back to the middle of my fucking face.
Oh,
And it's like somebody's taking their elbow and just kind of rubbing
rubbing on
in
there.
there.
Yeah,
So
that doesn't sound fun.
I'm thinking that the THC content, based upon everything else that's in there, maybe terpenoline, I'm not going to put it on the terpenes. I'm going to put it on the THC because
It's not even very high. There are some that are really high though, that it's like this doesn't feel like a 35% strain. This feels like it's
oh fuck,
21, 18. Like it doesn't feel crazy, you know.
dude, it just migrated to my chest.
Is it painful in your chest or is it
It's
just pressure?
it's pressure, and it doesn't feel good. That's crazy. That's why I'm not smoking this all the time. But again, this is my endocannabinoid system,
I
and
do
that's why
feel it settling
yeah,
down
weird,
more
huh?
though. Yeah.
And it's like almost like gas. You ever have gas like behind your ribs?
Not very often, but once in a
Yeah,
blue
like
moon,
I
and
mean,
it's
I'm
like
not saying like this is an occurrence, but
no, but it
it's a pain you'll
sucks. Yep.
remember,
Yeah. You
right?
feel it and you're like, what the
It's
fuck
like
is
somebody
that
putting
feeling?
pressure point forever. You're like, okay, that's annoying, and you can't get it off, and you're like, if I could just fart, if you just fart,
Hold me upside down, shake me like a baby.
but, but man, this strain just does not make me feel okay. It's not. It is slightly now behind. I mean, the pressure behind my eyes doesn't make me feel like I am sedated. It just makes me feel off.
The biggest thing, I feel it down in my chest,
Yep,
down here.
it starts to
Not
migrate.
in a nice way,
Nope.
but the most thing I feel, the most prominent feeling is the tingling in my cheeks and in my face. But that could be because I'm puffing on a second bolt. Like
Because I'm
it's
feeling it right here still.
interesting.
It's
Yeah.
like somebody, trying. It's like one of those horror movies, like a Saw movie. Like there's this drill, just like there, but it doesn't. It's not spinning because it doesn't have anything to grab onto it. So that drill is just this really soft front of like a round drill bit that doesn't have anything to grab onto,
Yeah.
and it's just pressing. It just feels like that. Like I'm being very descriptive because that's how it feels. It's just constant like.
Yeah, that one's interesting. I thankfully do not have that.
Yeah, but you have the cheeks. I don't have
Yeah,
that.
my whole cheeks all through here, crazy
My
tingling.
arms feel tight, but my chest now it's starting to leave.
My arms are a little settled down now.
But that's what it feels like to me. This feels like Delta 8.
Oh, gross. Gross. You know what sucks? The second you said that, I was like, we should test it. I'm like, wait, I don't have a lab tester to test that. But yeah,
It tastes like
does.
it feels
does
like
feel
Delta 8.
8.
Fuck.
Now
That's
I
what it
can't puff
was.
on that.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. We love Dragonfly and we
do.
love their growers, and you're always trying to change up what you're giving to your audience. But the feeling that I'm getting is
And
not good.
Everyone's endocannabinoid system is different.
Totally. So let's take this for example. What was the one? Granddaddy Perp, or was it Purple?
Which one? The
The
highest
one
I've
that
ever
made
been?
me like full on panic attack.
Oh, Bubba Kush.
Bubba Kush. Wow, that was a long
That
time ago.
was a long time ago. Like
Yeah.
second or third episode.
Even today. And it's just psychologically now for me because I felt something familiar. Now, that's another thing that I kind of think about. When we're aligning with this plant, this is my hippie hat right now. When we're aligning with this plant, we create this connection. I think back to the gentleman toker, Joe.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
And when he talks about the nose knows. And even when it smells good, it may not be right for you. And that's what's great about cannabis. And that's what's great about a grow like Dragonfly, because one thing is for certain is that this strain, it smells amazing.
It smells fantastic.
I
The taste
still
was
taste the
fantastic.
sweetness in my mouth.
It migrated up to the top of my dome.
Yeah, it did that one for a little while. See, now it's starting to lift off. So I'm just wondering, why am I feeling it like this? And I can only put it to that.
I don't feel pressure, but I feel a tingling right here.
Yeah, I felt pressure.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
really weird.
It's not. So what have I used this strain that has made it awesome? So I've stacked it with hybrid indica leaning strains.
Like which ones?
Uh,
Gelato Face Off.
Gelato Face Off.
Okay.
I did
Yeah.
Gelato Face Off, and dude, it was great. The Gelato Face Off carries it in a very nice way. Gelato
Okay.
Face Off is a very like calming.
Not makes this experience linger longer, but
It
just
makes it different
helps. Yeah.
because there's parts of the CBG that make it really nice. Because right now I feel like Delta 8 because of the headache,
It
and I don't
does
like it.
feel weird. Like it.
It's in my head in a weird way.
Now I'm just in my head. I feel like.
And I'm not, I mean, the
Yeah.
thing is like when you will say something, I mean, we're not trying to influence, like, this
Yeah.
isn't scripted out. I'm like, Brandon, say this when I say this.
All right. I'm gonna ask you something.
Okay.
Do you feel slightly foggy?
A little.
Just a hint.
And it's not even a good way. You ever have that time where
Delta 8.
when you open your
Fucking Delta
eyes,
8 feeling.
when you open your eyes and you see like these, all of a sudden, these like little squigglies going across, you ever have that feeling?
Maybe.
It's just because I've been punched too much. But anyways, like that's the feeling I get. It's just like, it's that feeling of coming out of the water when you're in the ocean
Mm-hmm.
and it's slightly blurred just for a second.
Yeah.
And it's just holding on to that part.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like it won't let me go and feel the rest of this amazing plant. It's like, and I was just like,
It's
okay, fuck
funny.
this. Like that's how I feel right now, and it does feel like Delta 8. Delta 8 makes me feel icky. It makes me feel
does,
icky.
yeah.
Other people love it, and I'm like, hey.
I'm always curious, and for those at home, if you are a fan of Delta 8, do you consume regular THC on a normal
Ooh.
basis? Because I'm always curious with that. If it's someone who is new to cannabis and they haven't either tried it or they're nervous about THC just because of like everything else.
Right.
And so like Delta 8 was their safe way to navigate into that space. Or like has that been just like an addition to yours? Or are you guys like Jesse and I where you stay away from that? Because I can't stand Delta 8. The experience on it always just feels so synthetic and so dirty. This one doesn't.
It doesn't feel dirty.
It doesn't feel synthetic.
But it's that
it doesn't
weird
feel
foggy
dirty, but it does
kind
feel.
See, now it's starting
Delta
to completely
80.
go away, dude.
Yeah, it just feels Delta 80 in the weird like
Dude,
tightness in my jaw. The like,
and it's been
that's
such a
still
little bit
there.
of time too. We haven't. I mean, this has not been a really long at all.
No.
And I'm looking at the time, and it's almost gone.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel it in my arm. Like
Well,
this
I
is a
smoked 2
weird
bowls.
fucking carnival ride. That's what it is. It's like I pay the ticket, I sit in the seat, and then I start going through. And then the first scene, it's supposed to be like this children's act. No, it's bestiality. And I'm like,
Wow,
what
that
the
escalated
fuck is this?
quickly.
I know, right? And then I start driving through, and we're going through. Then it gets kind of scary, and then it shows up, and it's the set of The View, right? And you got Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar. It's this daytime crazy lady talk show. It's hilarious. It's funny to watch, but they are just nuts. And that's what's up there. And you're like, oh, okay, we're getting back to normal. And then you go into another room and it's, a swinger party. And you're like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, you're like, what is going on?
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude. This is how it feels. Like, I described it in such a strange way. That's how I feel. This is a very strange strain. Now, however, there are people that like Limburger cheese.
I don't know what that tastes like, but I'm sure they do.
Some people like durian fruit. Smells
I
like
think
shit.
I've tried. Oh yeah, I've tried.
But
that
it tastes.
One, maybe?
It's like a creamy, very sweet consistency. It's almost like a mango consistency. But I like that. But it smells like shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like it kind of feels like the government. Right? It's just like,
No,
hey, this
see,
smells like shit. Like then it'll put
but-
it in your mouth, and you're like, oh,
but
it was
then-
kind of sweet.
No, if you put it in your mouth, then it still tastes like shit. Because
Yeah.
if it's the government, it's just like
No. That's how they keep going with what they're doing, man. Every time they feed you, they're like, whoa, no, get that away from me. That smells like shit. Like, no, dude, just try it.
But it's all the drugs that are in
Just
it.
try it,
Tastes
yeah.
like shit. But
And
then
then
afterwards, you're like,
Dude, you don't
Like,
mind.
that was good.
Well, dude, then that makes sense, and that's why you don't mind the taste, right? And you can't smell it's like Marilyn Manson, right? You can't smell the own shit on your knees. Like,
Mm-mm.
you're just subservient to it. You just
Oh,
are fine with the smell of shit. Matter of fact,
gross.
you don't even know what that smells like anymore. You just know what the end flavor feels like. So it feels synthetic. It feels synthetic in that way. Now, again, I've combined this with other strains and it's been very good. But that weird fogginess,
Yeah,
it's like a weight,
it's super weird.
and I'm jostling
Yeah.
around like, it feels like one of those fidget spinners that's broken. It's like, it'll like spin and it goes, like, no, that's not what I want you to do. And then they're like, that's again, it's back to the like,
You're a broken fidget spinner.
oh,
Yeah,
dude, that's how it feels in my brain right
that's what
now.
this strain makes you feel like.
That's why you were so happy to review, because it's just like I was like, I hope you don't feel anything I'm feeling, because it just doesn't appeal to me. And when I finished a tube of it, it kind of felt like it was at the dinner table going, eat all your vegetables.
Oh yeah.
That's what I felt like. I'm like, I
Better eat all
I
them.
can't let it go, because we smoked that one time. We was really old flour in there. It was
Oh, the
over a year old.
blueberry. And Jesse was like, "Oh, here." We smoked. I took like 2 hits off that, or maybe even 3. Oh God, my head. That was horrible. Hard no. Not again.
Dude, that was so funny because it fucking tasted weird.
Yeah, it wasn't. It
It
wasn't
did not
great.
taste like blueberries.
Originally, great
Oh,
strain,
so
but
good.
not when it had time to turn to
Is it-
CBN or whatever.
I
Over
always
time,
think of
'cause
when it comes to blueberry, like the best flavor of flour isn't even flour, it's CBD.
that blueberry waffles from
Oh,
Stony
is it Stony Patch
Branch.
or Branch?
It's either Branch or Brook, and I always mess it up.
Oh,
Stony Branch Farms, I think, is what it is. If
yeah.
not, it's
Well, if
Stony
not,
Brook Farms, and they
it-
have amazing flavor CBD. Like it didn't even feel like smoking CBD. But then after that, and it tasted delicious.
oh,
And it was just like
yes.
it pulled you down and was like so peaceful, so calming. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll vote it like this guy like does video games, right? We're gonna vote this on story, presentation, and delivery, right? I mean, it to me, it's great on taste.
Oh, 10 out of 10 on flavor.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Amazing.
Would it be? I don't understand the weird
The
tension,
experience is wild.
because it's back in my jaw. It's probably not in your jaw right now.
It's still in my jaw. It's been in the whole time.
It's just weird
It
throughout
just
the body.
moved
It
to
makes
other
me
spots.
It makes me feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, like
Uncle Gary, with his hands on your shoulder.
wow. or your dentist,
Yeah.
right? With both hands on your shoulder.
Yeah, both hands on your shoulders.
Or behind.
Yeah.
And he goes, don't get an erection, John. Don't get an erection, John. It's like, my name's Steve. Yeah, no, my name's John.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
That's terrible. It's really wild, because I would say that this has been a very short amount of time. I smoked 2 bowls. And while I feel the tingling, I feel just in my face, in my cheeks, I don't feel much else still. Like there's a little bit of fog, but I don't feel like much actual cannabis stuff. I just feel tightness in my jaw.
Yep. I feel a weirdness in my brain. It's
Yeah, it just feels
slightly
different.
slow, a little bit foggy.
But it doesn't feel like a normal cannabis fog, though.
Nope. It feels just weird.
Yeah, so I think that's what makes it feel like a Delta 8, because Delta 8, the experience to me is just a weird feeling.
Yeah, and we've had plenty of Delta 8 where we are just like, yep, not a fan. There are, and there's people that really can enjoy Delta 8, with the mixture of Delta 9 and all that. It just kind of feels like you're getting the sweeping of the floor where they trim if they were really dirty with it.
Oh, yeah. It's not even, if you were lucky.
That's what Delta 8's like to me. And when you've got all these other, like, you'll see the back and it's like, here's our COA, Delta 8 right in the middle of it.
Are you guys doing any other minors? If there
Yeah.
are, because there are so many other minors that are out, even in cartridges. It's crazy. There's a head shop across the street, and I went there, and they have all sorts of capsules and cartridges and gummies now, and they're supposed to mimic all sorts of experiences. The guy was like, this one's supposed to make it feel like Molly. This one's supposed to make it feel like this. This one's supposed to feel like this. And I was like, that sounds crazy. What's in this one? And he's like, well, this one's got Delta 8. And I'm like, that's not even legal here. And he's like, yeah, I know. They just don't put it on the label. And I was like, cool. So how many other products that are being sold everywhere have all sorts of who knows what in it, and it's just not being labeled, it's not being sold as that, it's just being told as like, hey, here's this thing that might make you feel cool, and you're like, what the hell is it that I'm actually ingesting? What am I putting into my body? No idea.
Yeah, no idea.
And it's sold in stores legally across the street, and yet they're nervous about cannabis and the legality of that.
But see, even this right now, dude, like it makes my stomach uneasy right now. Like it's just like, and I'm trying to put it together. I'm like, why am I feeling all of this when earlier I didn't feel it at all? And it's got to be a mixture of terpenes and
Cannabinoids,
THC and cannabinoids. Yeah.
whatever this profile
It just
is.
doesn't mesh with me.
It's so weird.
And that's sad too. But you know what? That's actually a really good thing too, guys. You got to remember that the cannabis that you're buying over there, you're the one that gets to decide if you want to keep buying it. So,
or even keep smoking it. Honestly, just
and
because you buy a product or have a product doesn't mean you have to use it.
yeah,
If it's one that you try and you're like, this doesn't sit well with me, honestly, I'm okay. Like, there's friends that are like, hey, I did not like this experience. You're welcome to have
there
this.
you go.
Like, and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll smoke that or I'll try it because it's free cannabis. Like,
Yeah, and you know when you get free cannabis, you're really not upset about it. But you know, it's not that we're canna snobs or cannasseurs. It's because it's the feeling I'm getting right now. And then right now we're at the end of this and I feel clear, slightly foggy. It's almost like a hangover feel.
just a lingering
Yeah.
weird feeling. And I still just have the tightness in my jaw.
That's so weird, dude. Oh yeah.
But that's it. I don't feel a single thing aside from that.
Yeah, I wouldn't smoke this again.
Yeah, I was like, this is
And that's pretty hard to say, dude. Seriously, like that was hard to say. Because I love Dragonfly, but you know what? It's good, and I'm sure they're super appreciative of the feedback, and going cool. You know, we'll try something else. That's all they're doing.
What's funny? There was a grower for Zion. She messaged me the other day, and was like, "Oh, you tried Gelato Apricot?" And I was like, "Oh, Jesse has, and we're going to actually review it on the show here soon." I hadn't tried it. I just heard your review of it, and I was like, I didn't want to give her the feedback of it yet because she seemed very enthusiastic about it.
But
So
sorry.
Yeah, it's
just not a good strain for me.
It wasn't my favorite one. Definitely
and that's
not.
okay too, man.
Yeah.
It's okay that you don't like a strain.
Oh, 100%.
And you shouldn't. Like what Brandon just said, like even if you're having a difficulties with the strain and you're just like, I don't want to even smoke this anymore, hit up your buddy and see if they'll do a trade. Like, hey man, this isn't vibing with me. Can we do a swap? And
that's true, because sometimes cannabis is expensive and you don't want to just give it away. And you're like, oh man, that was $30, $50, $100, I don't know, 200, whatever your budget was that you spent on it. And now you're looking at it going, is that all down the drain?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I don't want to smoke that. Just find a buddy and go, hey, do you have anything else? I'd trade you for this.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, every endocannabinoid system is
totally different. Maybe it's because our cycles synced up. That's why we don't.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
don't yuck someone's yums. I figured, shout out to our friend Ruth.
Ruth is hilarious. Don't yuck someone's dude. If you want to give it a try, stop by any dispensary here in Utah. If you have it across the nation,
Glazed Apricot Gelato.
Yeah, let us know where you sit on that, because you could disagree with either one of us.
The thing is, if it's from a different grower, it might be totally different terpene profile, different cannabinoids. You might have a way different experience. So let us know at home if you've tried Glazed Apricot Gelato. What's your experience been like?
Yeah. And also, we'd like to thank you guys, all of you who support the show. And we continue to be able to ask you guys who listen in on this one to help us out. We're trying to be able to get more things for our set, kind of put on a different feel. We love this couch, but I am sinking into it. So if you can, go over there, either buy us a cup of coffee
Yeah, there's
or,
links below.
yeah, or you'll also be able to have my Venmo over there.
Donate to the show.
All right, guys. Take care.